Okay, welcome everyone. It is June the 29th, 2022, and we are with Archangel Gabrielle, and she is going to explain all about gender inequality and how to balance from the root on up, our foundation on up. So let's get started right away with a meditation for the tri-flame. And within the tri-flame is embedded I had this all set up. There we go. Okay.
Friends would walk up to me and just be like,
I had this all set up. Okay. Let me just put myself on mute for a second because I have to. Okay, we're all set here. So within the tri-flame is the balance of the masculine and the feminine. But this will be explained right here in the meditation.
So let's begin by taking a beautiful deep breath of pink. And it's the pink of a fuchsia rose or a bright pink tulip, of a vibrant sunset. And just relax. Let go of the day and the week and your to-do list. And give yourself the gift in the present of being right here, right now. Of being in the infinite flow of the Mother, Father, One, and the infinite flow of you. Come down to your heart. Let's first open our crown. Open all your chakras. And feel them spinning and spitting out that which not of love and joy and purity and grace. See all those rainbow of sparks flying out back to the universe, back to the Mother, to be transmuted. And come down to your heart. Come down to your beautiful heart center. And feel this beautiful heart center as that perfect pinkish red rose. It's not red and it's not pink. And breathe the scent of that rose. That beautiful, rich scent of the Mother, of the Magdalena, of Gaia. Breathe it in through your nose, holding it in your chest, exhaling the debris. And with every breath, feel your rose opening more and expanding more until you, sweet angels, are in full bloom. Feel the velvet silkiness of those rose petals. Take one. It's okay. And feel it between your fingers. And rub it across your cheek. And breathe it in. That rich scent of Gaia, of the earthiness, and of the spring freshness. and at the same time, the lushness of summer. And even the fall when there's a nip in the air, and it's the last rose in the garden before the first snowfall. Feel that rose and be that rose. Now come to the center of your rose. Come to the center of your heart. That very nub. Dive into that rose. Dive into that ocean of scent and silk and velvet. And that beautiful, rich fragrance. Come to the center of your rose. And breathe. Now in that center, feel your beautiful tri-flame. Your beautiful pink diamond. And allow that to burn brightly. Now feel on the right the beautiful blue diamond of our eternal, blessed, universal Mother, Mary. And let that sparkle and dance and be absolutely equal to your pink diamond. Now go to the left and see that beautiful yellow golden canary diamond, that rare diamond. And this is the energy and the balance of the Father, of the divine masculine. And see that twinkle and surge and dance with your pink and the blue. You and we and this perfect tri-flame are a family united in heart, in love. Don't try to merge your flames. Feel them, unique and beautiful, each bringing forth qualities, aspects, energies of your unique divinity. And feel this phenomenal gratitude for yourself, for the brilliant, bright angel you are, having the courage and the valor and that enormous sense of adventure to assume form and to walk the planet during this time of enormous change and at times enormous challenge. Feed your tri-flame some gratitude, some love, and feel it begin to burn more brightly. And as these dancing flames flicker, feel them enjoining each other, dancing like the eternal tango, embracing one another, not overshadowing, but simply conjoining at the base and twirling around each other. Is not something you direct. It is something you are allowing and observing and enjoying. Feel them embrace one another in the gentlest knowing, in the most exuberant excitement of being ignited this way. as a unified field of your brilliant tri-flame, and keep it burning brightly in the center of this beautiful rose. Don't let a day go by that you don't visit and ignite and dance with your tri-flame, your essence of the Father, Mother, you.
Okay. Okay. So this is part 2 of gender equality with Archangel Gabriel. And I put the third and fourth eyes up here because it's very much connected to these eyes in our forehead opening up, third and the fourth opening up to see that compassion, to see with compassion, to see with non-judgment, to see with wisdom, that reverence for everything. Because that's what's gone missing on the planet in thousands of years, is that reverence for both genders. Okay, and Archangel Gabrielle says, let me be clear, there is no such thing as mild abuse. Yes, there is anathema in many countries and in many practices in the name of society or religion or power, but any abuse is unacceptable because it is not only not the truth of the Mother, Father, One, it is not the truth of who humans are. It is not the truth. Okay, so, and you'll see I've put the tri-flame in the heart throughout this slideshow because this is the balance. This is where, when I sat still in meditation for years, it was that contemplation of the tri-flame within the heart chakra, that where so much information is embedded for us to remember who we truly are and how things work in the higher realms. So an incredible meditation every day is just sitting still and observing the tri-flame the way Archangel Gabriel described it in this meditation. So I can post this meditation if it's helpful too, for you to do whenever you wish to. I'll make sure I do that when I post the recording. Okay, so this information came through in March 2014, so 8 years ago. And Archangel Gabriel is the mother's messenger. The messenger of one is what she calls herself. And she is emanating more feminine now to help with the divine feminine rising. In the Bible, you may recall, Gabriel was spelled E-L, and that was the more masculine form of this archangel. And Gabrielle is her feminine form. Okay, so she starts by saying the way in which this beautiful planet Terra Gaia was designed, as you know, a place for angels and a few star visitors to come and have the experience of love in form, in physicality. Because of that basic notion, that kernel of creation, it was decided, the mother desired, that there would be gender differentiation, so that there could be the experience of holding the divine masculine in form and the divine feminine in form. Now, as you well know, the evolution is for both parties, genders, to hold both, but it is play acting. It is an experience. So this time I will be male, next time I will be female, I will be gay, I will be androgynous. You have covered the gamut of experience, and it was constructed that it would be a form of mirroring the divine. Now, of course, that did not mean in any way, shape, or form that the men stood still and the women did all the work. The gift of this gender differentiation was that the female would have the experience of being able to birth creation. Now, that is not to say that the male does not birth creation, but in different ways. We are talking about physicality. And of course, the birthing of that creation is the result of union. And we have talked about this in various settings, but that union and the creation of new life have always been a joint project between the individuals involved. The male and female and their twin flames and the soul that is desiring to come forth and their twin flame. So what is thought of as the sacred union of two is in fact the sacred union of six. So that's kind of interesting. And twin flames, just to bring back that understanding, when we're birthed from the heart of one, the way that it was explained to me is that we come out as a single cell, but we fission into two, and this is our twin flame and this is us. And at that time, we're gifted with our guides, at least 3 guides that are older than us and that travel with us throughout all the different lifetimes. Our guides rarely change, but also our twin flame is there on the other side, helping us meet partners. So whoever we're ready to be in partnership with, the twin flame has a lot to do with it. And here they're saying the twin flame is involved in the birth of a new being as well. So the role of the twin flame. Okay, but Gabrielle goes on to say, but what emerged from this way of birthing was jealousy, covetousness, sins of pride in the worst sense of the word, rather than tenderness and love and a sense of family and community. Now, I would never infer that there are most situations where the union of the love has taken place. But the kernel of this subjugation has been the male's jealousy of the feminine's ability to produce life. So rather than simply being the hunter, the protector, the gatherer of food during this time of incubation, which is very short, by the way, what has happened is that this darkness has grown. And then she's referring back to this jealousy being in the wars in Ukraine, Afghanistan, in Venezuela. So underneath war, underneath most things not of love, is this gender, this male jealousy. So she goes into this more, but yeah, so interesting. It is the desire to keep what is most beautiful, most precious, and control it out of a sense of jealousy. Now I'm talking about the male, and I'm talking about the archetype and the collective and the history. I'm not talking about the individual. But let me be very clear. If there were not individuals, male and female, who did not hold this belief system, it would not be in place. So it's even the feminine holding the belief that it's okay for the male to be jealous. That has created a lot of havoc here as well. So this belief system, part of the reason why we're feeling so discombobulated right now is we're really getting deep into this and releasing these old systems that began right from the beginning. But the male has come to a place of, I am jealous and I feel less than. Why has the source, God, whatever you call the central creator energy, why have they given you this power and not me? But if I control you, if I control everything about you, if I hold you, and I speak very strongly, I know, but if I hold you hostage, if I am in charge and control, then my power will be stronger than yours. My worthiness will be stronger than yours. And you can see this when two countries are at war. Or, you can see it within a partnership, or you can see it within the community sometimes, this power over system that wreaks havoc here. Okay, so now this is a fallacy, of course, but like many abused people, when a belief system or a fallacy is repeated and then it is enforced in physical action and reinforced for eons, then it becomes solidified. So over time, women, well, they resisted it, but they also cooperated and allowed the male to feel that they were superior. So it moved from control and arrogance and issues of self-worth to superiority. This is tragic. But within their hearts and within their families, within their circles of women, women have always known of their connection to the goddess, to the divine feminine. They have always known of their ability to connect with that energy, but it became in many ways hidden. Now, because of the subjugation, because of the physical control, not only of movements, but of resources, of money, of food, of shelter, this became stratified and actually became an intact belief system. And so this sense of superiority, of arrogance, of illusion at its most basic grew. But in the meantime, women, regardless, yes, some have been more active in different countries, but this knowing of their rights, their equality, their connection, and their ability to birth have never lost that sense. So I put here just that connection, our connection to the planet, to Gaia, to the elements and the animal kingdoms, and also and the elements above, elements below and above, and then also source energy. So just to know that when we're in divine alignment, there is no misalignment with the old belief systems. And this is how important it is to really understand the within, the without, the chakra system, the energy of the elements, and how connected we are to source energy. That it's just human belief systems that have created what doesn't work here. Okay, now, have they been beaten down? Have their children been sacrificed, stolen? Have they been mutilated? Think of what we're talking about in terms of war. This is the longest war in human history. And when you speak of genocide and mayhem, then what you're talking about, it has been done to women because they have the ability to birth. What should be celebrated as a gift, as a reflection of the Divine Mother's presence among you, has been lost. Then she says, let me say something that will raise a few eyebrows. Always you have the right to choose to bear or not bear, but the decision made in many cases in the Western European and now Eastern worlds not to bear children, not because of population control, but because the sacrifice, the freedom that is lost in bearing children was considered too high a price to pay. That is not freedom. That is not gender equality. That is simply adapting. That is adaptive behavior to male manipulation, superiority, supremacy, and it is not good enough. This is a time within the mother's plan of the flowering of the divine feminine, of the re-anchoring of the beauty, of the gentleness, of the fertility, of the ability to create in a variety of ways. And as women step forward to do this yet again, and to claim their right and their place in creation, then what they're also doing in their way is giving men, the male, the masculine, the permission to also embrace their divine feminine. Many women have found their masculine counterpart within I am talking about, and it is out of balance in terms of the masculine finding their feminine and embracing and going forward. There are many situations. This is a virus and a war of the worst kind because you cannot go forward. You cannot ascend as one heart, one collective, one being with this type of division still amongst you. Now, when Michael speaks of this desire, this yearning for peace, this is not separate from letting go of keeping women in a lesser position. We're not talking about righting this balance by elevating women to positions of power all over the globe. although that certainly at different points in time has been one option that was most definitely considered. But often what has happened is the women who have ascended to positions of power are doing so in their masculinity, not their divine feminine. It is allowing that point of balance in the middle. This fear, this lack of worth, primarily emanating from this covetousness, this jealousy of women's ability to bring forth life, must cease. Now you say, yes, Gabrielle, we understand, but how? It is by moving, yes, releasing fear, releasing the false grids, your key factors, your vasanas, your issues, your belief systems of false paradigms, that there is any such thing as inequality. There is no inequality in unity. It is not possible. So the more we are in our heart consciousness, understanding the beauty of the tri-flame, the masculine, the feminine, inequality with the self, that balance within, once you really get it within, as within, so without, it's therefore without. So the more of us that understand the balance within is the starting point. It really can't, the balance is literally impossible to create in the without understanding it from within. It is by embracing the qualities of the divine feminine within each and every person and without, in other people, in other nations, in other groups, but it is also celebrating and loving and valuing the divine masculine as it was intended, powerful creator, source, stimulus, catalyst, fuel for creation. This is primal and it is mighty and it has nothing to do with being in control. What is ironic in the saddest meaning again of the term is that in the subjugation of women, what has occurred, not that they are truly kept at home and nurtured and protected and cherished, for it is women who are doing the work, who are making the food, who are doing the menial labor. This has to stop. And you say, how can this happen in the blink of an eye? I say to thee, each one of you, and it seems to be a day where I'm asking you as central administrator of this universe, I'm asking you in our ascended partnership, each of you in your own way, to join with me to change this paradigm, to let it go, to embrace the truth. And the truth is not merely what I give you. It is to go within your heart, feel the left and right hand sides of you, and let them marry in the central meridian of your heart. Find your balance and do not allow anyone to steal your freedom. This is your birthright. That balance within the tri-flame, such an important meditation to practice daily. So yes, so this is what Archangel Uriel told us. He said, do not underestimate when you stay in that place of centered awareness of knowing, not wobbling back and forth in uncertainty, that resentment, lack of self-worth and self-love, you are doing so for many. So yeah, it's letting go of all this old resentment and not forgiving things and people and situations and coming into the heart, into our heart consciousness. Now you can see that there's a little silver place in the pink of the tri-flame, and that I'm coming to see is our knowing. That's truth. That's the color of truth. So that silver embedded in the pink is the centered awareness, that knowing. That's when we really, really get the balance of the masculine and the feminine and the self. Okay, it has never been an either or, and particularly all of you, even those of you who have only been on planet a few times, have experienced male and female. Do you have preferences? Yes, you do. And you have a form, a gender that you tend to incarnate in time and time again. But it isn't because you take that incarnation because you think, well, I will be male, so I can be in control. No, because when you are on this side and in the higher realms, you say, I have a chance again to rectify, to balance what has gone awry. And I step forward in the fullness of my mission and purpose to the mother to do so. Women, my beloved sisters of Gaia and far beyond, I beckon you to flower, to allow your fertility. And I do not simply mean your ability to birth. I mean your creative fertility, your brilliance, your gentleness, your nurturing, your sweetness, your divine intelligence to come forth. The solutions come from above, but sweet angels of light, they also come from each and every one of you. This is doable from the Sudan to the United States, to China, to Iraq and Iran, to Somalia. This is your birthright. Gaia is a feminine energy. She has birthed the mountains and the trees, the lakes and the rivers, the oceans. You do not see them competing and saying, I am more important than you. In the balance that humankind has desperately tried to tinker with, Gaia and the elements know that this must be in balance to survive and to thrive. Look to the animal kingdom. Yes, there are those who eat their young, but might I suggest perhaps they have learned that from the humans. Find the peace, find it first within your heart, find it in your home, find it in your families, find it in your friendships. And when you see someone hiding their divine feminine, their feminine side, because they are fearful of judgment or punishment, reassure them this is to be celebrated. Whether you are male or female in your masculine self, tell them you will support them, you will protect them. They can lean on you because you love them and you love what this represents. The male way has been to conquer and, let us say, and you're seeing it right now, divide and conquer. And let me show you my superiority. This is not truth, and it is most certainly not love. Change it. We are here to help. Not next week, not next month. When you talk about financial equality, you cannot divorce this from gender equality. It is all one and the same. Okay, so then Steve asked a question, because this was an hour with an angel show. There has been so much damage to women in places like Somalia and the Sudan and many other places. Does that mean that the women so affected are going to lose out on ascension because they're so injured or incapacitated? Or how do we look upon that whole situation? What is the answer there? And Archangel Gabriel said, the answer is this: no, they do not lose out on ascension. That would be a travesty beyond imagination. That would be leaving the injured on the battlefield. Now, there are many of them who would say to you, I am injured and I'm tired and leave me on the battlefield. Allow me to go home into the arms of the mother. But what that does, it is not a solution, and it leaves that residue of inattention and lack and limitation and devastation. It leaves its mark, that residue, that pollution upon the planet and in the collective consciousness. So what do we do? So what we do and what you do collectively is we lift these entire groups up, entire groups, millions upon millions, we lift them up. Think of it as triage, as spiritual triage, and you bring them to the front of the line because they cannot continue to be sacrificed in this way. It is human sacrifice that is no different than sacrificing young virgins in ancient ceremonies. It is not permissible. So she says, so she's asking us to see with our third eye. And she says, I mend you. So one of her gifts is a golden net. So I found a golden net, and she says, I give you my golden net. And she says, etherically wrap it around them, gently, caringly. And so what she's recommending we do is we take the groups of the women that are so like in the Congo, one of the weapons of war is rape. So there are certain doctors that just go in and help these women. And there's villages that have been formed just for places for these women to go to. One's called City of Joy. And I did a bit of study about them, but it's like places like that where the women are just so hurt that she's asking us to take and just wrap them and then around the golden netting to wrap the blue velvet of the mother. So that's another like gift of the mother, this blue velvet. And she says, and lift them up. But literally what we're doing as we're doing that is balancing ourselves as well, because we are all one. So you're using the golden netting of the masculine and the blue velvet of the feminine and doing it in the heart, and it's healing us at the same time. So bring them into your heart and carry them to the front of the line, to the ascension portal. Love them, reassure them, care for them. Because you cannot, in this time frame that you're working in, allow these beings to simply be left behind. This is not intended to be bloodbath and sacrifice. This is intended to be joyous ascension. Okay, so it's also the golden energy spins, like, and this is why I put this spiral energy here. The golden energy, when you wrap, it's like taking your left arm, actually, because the golden energy spins clockwise and then the blue energy spins counterclockwise. So you can literally gather them with your arms, and it's a spiral motion too that helps us lift up. Spiral motion, ascension motion. So she says, think of it this way, then they are on the other side of the portal. Think of what a welcoming committee that will be. So it's the etheric work that is so important for this ascension as well. As the energy goes out into the collective consciousness of caring, it makes a big difference. So that's what she was explaining there. And then Steve asked about the qualities of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, what they are. And this is really quite fascinating, actually. She says, do not draw a line down the middle of the page and say, these are the masculine qualities and these are the feminine. Allow for the flow and the movement of these qualities back and forth. But having said that, the qualities of the divine feminine are nurturing, the most profound. It is a capacity, not a quality, but the ability to nurture within the womb and throughout life. And I'm not merely speaking of their children, but of their family and of their communities. There is a rich and vibrant history and knowing of this. It is beauty. So remember when we studied beauty, that was silver and magenta. And it is not that we negate the male beauty at all, but it is the ability to assist others and themselves to see beauty, to be beauty within and without in all things. So beauty was the ability to be in harmony with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Past, present, future. So really harmonizing energy, bringing peace. Okay, then she says it is hope. And hope is, again, is the balance of the masculine and the feminine. It is tenderness. It is trust. It is what we've talked about, constancy. So that ability to be constant in everything we do, and the ability to adapt to change. So being in the flow. Think of the woman's body. Yes, the male body changes, but think of all the constant change a woman's body goes through, even in a moon cycle. It is that ability to flow. It is wisdom. So there's the third eye. And wisdom, when we studied it, was that ability to be in the state of reverence for everything, and just know that there's always more. Wisdom is a male quality too, but it is a difference. It is a knowingness. It is acceptance and surrender. It is all of these things. It is knowing of the continuity of the mother's plan and the joy of unity. Women have the capacity to find not only the inner joy, the quiet joy, but to find joy in the smallest things. And there is a strength that is born of the ability to survive, to bear children, and that strength has grown. You have talked about many women who have been beaten down, but the collective of women, the strength of the collective of women has never been stronger. They're the ones that demand peace. And we're beginning to see that. I think it's interesting that Roe v. Wade just happened, but in a way, I can see where that could be a call to action. So just as Archangel Gabrielle says here, the women are the ones that demand peace. So the rising of the divine feminine, it's happening right now. We'll just see more and more and more of it. So till there's peace on earth. So, and just to know that in every breath, we are literally breathing the light of the divine masculine and the water energy of the mother. So that masculine and feminine energy in every breath. And the more conscious we are, that just goes into our system and balances everything within us so that we are in perfect health and to perfect peace on the planet. And the studying of all these, the chakras and the blessings and virtues and the universal laws and the dimensions really helps with that inner balance of the masculine and the feminine. Okay, and that's the end. Okay, so let's see if anyone has. Oh, back to me. Break it out now. Where are we? How do I find it? Oh, that's so interesting. Where is the meeting? Where are we? Oh, here, got to do that. There we go. And now I turned my video off. There we go. I forgot how to get back. Okay. I feel really discombobulated today. Okay. So, wow, so much information. But you can see how that balance in there and how the way that she talked about when I heard of the underneath gender inequality was the masculine jealousy of the feminine ability to give birth. I thought, wow, I would never have figured that out myself. But then there's the power over the control. And so, and then that's within, I can see that being within the control system within the ego, in that place of control within, and then imbalancing us, and then it working with family, the control systems in family. Oftentimes we've witnessed either a male or a female figure exerting control in the family, and then that out in the community, co-workers, and then leaders between countries. So it's pretty interesting that it's really just comes from that imbalance within us. So that tri-flame balancing every day, or the 13th octave too. 13th octave meditation is a great one for balancing within. But does anyone have a comment or anything they'd like to say, Leanne?
So you mentioned about the ego, and I'm just trying to sort of think of how that relates to what we're talking about here today. I mean, I know that, anything that is not of love is egoic, right? So I guess the imbalance of the not divine masculine is equal to the ego, or
Yeah, or it can be,
how would you put it? How would you say it?
yeah, it could be the feminine too. You know how she said that sometimes the feminine takes on them, that control, the control aspect. It's like a mother being overly controlling in the family, because sometimes it's the father, sometimes it's the mother. It just depends who's taken that role of, and control can relate to guilt. Guilt is a really incredible control system. So that the ego can take that guilt and use it as a control system. And then you can see that in the without as well with behavior actions. So it just depends on what system the ego is using.
I see. Right.
Mhm.
I was, as you were talking, I was thinking about Hillary Clinton and her imbalance and how, she may have been president, but I don't think she had a lot of the feminine balance that we want now.
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because try to be that compassion for everyone. Yeah. I it would be very difficult to be a leader in perfect balance. I have to say, yeah.
As you were saying that, I was thinking of Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, she's amazing. Mhm.
So I don't know if that's a good way of looking at balance, feminine balance or not, but
Mhm. She's very much into bringing the spiritual into every day. And that's like goddess energy, really bringing that divine feminine rising, not using both sides of the brain, using the very creative flowing side and the mental side. So I think what has happened is the mental piece has become very military and judgmental, and that's the masculine out of control. Whereas the divine masculine is more of a protector and very wise, and the one that's giving the gratitude to the planet. In the indigenous tribes, the masculine would wake up and give gratitude to the animal kingdoms and the plant kingdoms, and absolutely adore the feminine.
So I was just wondering, can anybody think of a balanced female leader?
I was just watching AOC. Do you know that ladies?
Yeah.
Young girl? And I was thinking, she was on Stephen Colbert, and she was explaining about the Senate and how the Senate had overreached itself in Roe v. Wade, and that it was time to, if it's not aligning with public interest, that they can actually, she had a word for it, I can't remember the word, but it was like, if it's not relevant, then the Senate shouldn't be relevant. Like that decision should not be relevant. And which was very interesting. And I thought she was operating from the feminine, but very, very balanced, the way she was explaining it. And she's so young. Mhm. So I don't know, have you seen her speak lately, that lady?
Not recently, no.
Do you know who I'm talking about though?
Yeah.
Yes, I can't, like, I don't even know her full name. Mhm.
Oh,
But
I
you
don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
Yeah. So I when I saw her, I was just like, oh my gosh, there we go. That's it. That's the divine feminine rising. Because she understood the principles very clearly. She had a very clear idea what to do about it. And how they could. And then she referred back in history to Abraham Lincoln and how he did that.
Okay, on another topic, how are the triflame and the 13th octave related?
Well, because the tri-flame is the yellow flame of the father energy. So you can think of source energy. It's not necessarily a human. It's very etheric, that energy. The divine mother is not like in the 13th octave. She's portrayed as like mother energy human, but really she is everything. as is the Father. So a flame is more etheric. And in the heart, when you sit and contemplate the flame, you're seeing, I mean, it's flame-like, but it's very ethereal.
So could you say that the tri-flame is the 13th octave in the heart?
Absolutely, that's how I feel it is.
Okay.
As within, so without. And really, the heart center is everything. It's a door to everything.
Okay. Really caught me by surprise is that male jealousy is at the root of all the problems here. I had no idea whatsoever. That caught me totally by surprise. I mean, I can see some of the effects of it, you know, lack of self-love and lack of self-worth. But I'm going to have to do some deep digging, I think, to get down to that level of, you know, cause, because I have no idea.
I was really surprised when I heard that too. But then when I look around and just see what the havoc that's been wreaked on the planet for and Gabrielle said eons. She used the word eons. I thought it was thousands of years, but I think this has been going on much longer than we realize. And that was part of, maybe it goes right back to the star beings wanting the gold from Gaia, the control.
Yeah, it probably started shortly after the division of male and female.
Yeah, that, and even, I mean, Archangel Michael talked about the Lucifer to us at one point. Yeah, so I think the history of this planet goes back to that.
Well, the division into male and female would go way beyond this planet, I'm sure. Eh?
Was at the beginning of this session that she said that the mother desired that this planet be a place for angels to be in form and a few star beings to experience being masculine and feminine. Yeah.
Okay, so this planet then she's talking about.
Yeah, she's talking about this planet.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is what created the journey. That's what created the journey. And supposedly we were bored in the higher realms. She's like, wow. Something for you. And it really has been a conundrum for us. I mean, it has created a very long journey.
Well, yeah, I mean, the planet is what, 13 billion years or something? So, you know.
It's kept us busy for a while and scratching our heads. But it also has created this incredible sense of separation. And, you know, that's that between the male and the female too. This, you know, when it's out of alignment.
Yeah, well, those false beliefs, they just get reinforced every time they're brought up, you know, so it's been reinforced for millions of years, probably.
Yeah, and I have to say, because I spent 25 years and then another 3 years in relationships that were very much out of alignment, and how difficult it is to get out. It took me, when I decided I needed to leave, it took me 3 years. And I couldn't get out. I was so afraid. So that abuse is insidious. It keeps you locked in place for more. And then you just think it's normal. Like, this is how it is. I am trapped. I can't get out. And then the weird thing is, when you do get out, you're set free. You have such lack of self-worth. You attract it again. And only worse, until something happens that's so catalytic that you just go, whoa, what? And it's a big wake up, is what was my experience.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really hard to fix the problem if you don't have a clue what the problem is, even though.
That's so true, because the belief systems are so insidious. They are so insidious. You can't go, whoa, catch that one. No, and then when I did sit still and learn the tarot with Saint Germain, and I would pull 5 cards every day. It lasted about 8 months, I think. And he would show me how convoluted the systems are, how complicated. And every day there would be different ones. And then they would I could feel what they felt like around me. And I was like, how do we even walk? Like there's so many and they're so complicated. And then they would lift them and it would get to here. And I didn't understand the forgiveness of everything. And they would just all come tumbling down. And I'd be like, huh, well, now what? But
Yeah.
I would say forgiveness and gratitude dissolves them. Like when you get to the point where you're just blessing them and you're like thanking them. Okay, thank you. I learned so much. They dissolve. Forgiveness dissolves them. Doing both, forgiveness and gratitude. Wow, magical. They don't come back.
Yeah, it's amazing. The answer is so simple. Just love. That's it.
Yeah, but I've found like if I know what love is, like, you know, the steps of what it is, because I can say I love myself and the systems will come back. But if I actually have techniques to know, okay, that's forgiven, the mother forgives everything, I can bless it. Then I really fall into the non-judgment, compassion.
Right.
So I needed more than just love it.
Yeah, obviously. A little understanding and wisdom helps for sure.
Yeah. At least I did. I mean, other people maybe don't need all that, but I did.
Well, I would suspect most people did that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's there. When I first started doing readings, that with the information was quite complicated that was coming out of me. And as the more I do more and more, the simpler it gets. So that people in 15 minutes, I can explain to somebody, you know, enough clarity that they can go away and work on it themselves. Yeah. So I love the simplicity of it all.
I gotta say, I'm embarrassed
Why?
because of this unconscious thing that you were talking about, of being jealous of the ability to birth. And I never realized it. And I don't know, I don't know. It's just, I have to sit with it for a while, I guess.
Yeah, and she did say individually. She's not, this is a collective thing. It's been going on for she said eons. So when I've been male, have contributed to it. We all have. We've all contributed to what has happened on this planet. So don't take it on like it's a, you know, like all your fault or anything. It's a collective thing. We've all done it together.
Yeah, and we've done it many times. Maybe that's the embarrassing part. I know I've been here thousands of times and I've done the same thing every time, you know. I mean, it's about time I learned, I think.
Well, we all do, because the system of jealousy, women can be jealous of women. Like it's not just women, like it's not just men jealous of women's ability to give birth as the ultimate creation. This jealousy thing is prevalent everywhere. That is how we control. We control with jealousy. So it's just a really good one to look at.
Yeah, and of course we all come as men and women anyway. So, you know, I mean, we've been on both sides of the coin.
Yeah. And right now, with the energies right now, we're looking at all this really deep stuff. Yeah. And if it has manifested as physical pain or issues, it's a great time to just take it as a gift, and you can release.
Yeah, that's right. If we all do that, we'll make some progress here, I think.
Yeah. There's no accident that the 5 of us are listening to this, and no doubt we have so much power between all of us that this is going to go out far and wide. Yeah, especially with Gabrielle standing right behind us. Yeah. I just ask her, are you going to multiply this out, Gabby? Oh, yeah.
I think she's with everybody on the call, really.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Can you feel her? She's a force. Mhm. Yeah.
One
Yeah,
thing,
very golden. Yes.
one thing that I was thinking about while we were talking is that I was thinking about, well, we call them Black people because of our upbringing, but I was made aware at some point that there is prejudice going on within the Black community about how dark your skin is, and the ones that are lighter skinned also seem to want to have power over the ones that are darker skinned.
Mhm. Mhm.
So-
It's everywhere. It's insidious. Yes. So the more we realize it doesn't matter what color our skin is, what size, what shape, what anything, we're all one. We're all birthed of the mother, father, one in our perfection. We really are one.
Yeah, and we all have the same imperfections and biases and prejudices as well. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, you can still be prejudiced.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, we're here just to let that all go and just it's really difficult when you're dealing with somebody that's abusing power. 'Cause, that's what I'm in the middle of right now. And the what Archangel Gabrielle taught me back in 2012 was to stand still. Because back then I was in the middle of something, and she said she and I had a reading together, and she said stand still. And so that has been the most amazing piece of advice I've ever received, I have to say. If ever you get it caught and you feel like you're just in the center of the storm, just to stand still and watch everything go by.
So true. It's that awareness, right?
Mhm.
Instead of getting caught up in the spiral of the hurricane or whatever, or the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the chaos. And then that's like being like a tree too. I often tell people
Mhm.
in the reading room, be like a tree. A tree doesn't get caught in other people's drama, and it doesn't tend to get caught in its own drama.
Yeah.
So that's the place of the observer.
And if you are in that place of observing, then you can almost see those hooks coming at you. You can see it and you can go, no, I'm not going to go into that,
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of practice, right? To be in that tree, in that stillness, and not, get caught up in that
Mhm.
chaos.
Mhm.
Yeah. That drama.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I was in this position where I had to go into the situation to figure out what exactly was going on. And so then you've got to be that compassion. Just go in with non-judgment and listen and see, and then come back out and make a decision as to what, then you've got to make your move and stand still. But yeah, it's really, it's been really helpful studying this gender inequality at the same time as going through this.
Right.
Is there more to be studied?
For gender inequality,
Yeah.
yes, there's quite a few. She put forth about 4 more. I can put the links up for you if you want, if anyone's interested.
Please.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Leanne, I stepped on your,
No, not at all. No, it's all good.
I
Yeah.
thought you would say something, that's all.
Yeah, no, I'm done. It's good.
Okay.
I'm just thinking all.
Yeah, it's all right. We can all, don't worry if we butt in, it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'll put the links up, and then I'm thinking we can do one more gender inequality if this is of interest, or
Yes.
would you
Well,
like to? Okay, good, all
Yeah.
right, then let's do another one. Okay,
I think it's very important. I think we should do another one.
okay, awesome. I'm so glad you're saying that. Oh,
Yeah.
Gabrielle. Okay. Good. Okay, yeah. Yeah, good idea.
I have to leave. I'm sorry. My daughter is trying to get a hold of me, so I have to run. Okay.
Okay, take care. Huh?
Thank you. Thanks.
Sure.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, here, let's turn, I think we can turn the recording off.